All right. So, are you ready for a deep dive?
Yeah.
We're going to look at New Year's Eve.
Oh, fun.
But not the typical New Year's Eve.
No.
Like you sent over this piece and it's like the author took all those New Year's cliches and
Yeah.
just threw them in a blender
Uh-huh.
with like a little bit of dark humor,
Yeah.
you know?
A dash of cynicism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like your typical celebratory read.
No, it's not. It's like the author took all that pressure and all those expectations
Yeah.
and then kind of just flipped it on its head.
Right. I mean, come on. Who compares New Year's Eve to a toxic ex?
Right.
But then I kept reading, and the more I read, I was like, wait,
Yeah.
I kind of get it.
Yeah.
You know, like this whole idea that we can just wipe the slate clean at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like setting ourselves up for disappointment.
Yeah, and it's like going back to that ex that says, oh, this time I've changed.
Right.
And you're like, no, you haven't.
Exactly.
I'm going to be the
Like,
same.
we're just going to repeat the same patterns over and over
It's
again.
like a cycle.
So how does the author even approach this? I mean, how do they even start to unpack all this?
Well, they use humor,
Yeah.
which is brilliant because it makes it, more palatable.
Right.
But it's satire.
Yeah.
So they're describing all these New Year's Eve rituals.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some bizarre anthropological phenomenon,
Okay.
and then they weave in these anecdotes,
Okay.
like the neighbor
Oh, yeah.
who blows up his resolutions,
Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
literally with a rocket.
Yes.
Like before the countdown even finishes.
Before the countdown.
Yeah.
This is Gunther, right?
Yeah, Gunther.
So Gunther, he builds this whole pyramid
Yes.
out of beer bottles, and each bottle is a resolution.
Each one a resolution, and then boom.
Gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think the author's trying to say with that?
I think it's this whole idea that we think we can just erase the past
Okay.
and like magically transform ourselves overnight
Yeah.
just because the calendar changes. Like, no, it takes work.
Right. And it's not just like a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a process.
Yeah. And, the author also mentions like the financial side of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the money we spend.
The consumerism.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like people shelling out tons of cash for fireworks.
Yeah. And then they're complaining that they can't afford basic necessities.
That's true.
It's like, what are your priorities?
Right. What are we actually valuing here?
Yeah. Are you valuing experiences or just stuff?
Right. Like, are we just trying to buy our way into a new year?
Maybe.
Or a new us?
Possibly.
But it's not even just the money, though, right?
Oh, no.
There's this whole other thing going on.
Yeah.
Like this underlying anxiety almost.
Yeah, like a fear of silence.
Yes. And like we have to fill every moment with noise.
Yes. Distraction,
Yeah.
distraction.
So, like, can we just sit with ourselves for a second?
Right. Like, can we just be?
Yeah. Can we be okay with just being?
Yeah. And I think that's where the author's deeper message comes in. It's this idea that we need introspection.
Mhm.
We need to confront those uncomfortable truths about ourselves, the
Right.
things that we try to avoid.
Yeah. And instead of popping champagne and screaming, Happy New Year,
Right.
maybe we should just
Just be quiet.
for a minute
Yeah.
and see what comes up.
See what surfaces.
That's pretty powerful,
Yeah. It's a provocative idea.
especially for a holiday that's all about noise.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really starting to see why you called this piece refreshing.
Yeah, it's like a splash of cold water on all
Yeah.
those sugary New Year's cliches.
It is.
Yeah.
But you know what gets me?
What's that?
Is that right when you think the author's like full-on cynic?
Yeah?
They throw in this whole thing about poetry slam.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wait, what?
It's unexpected.
It is unexpected.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I see
Yeah.
what you're doing here.
It all connects.
Yeah.
It's all intertwined.
It's like they're saying, okay, I just pointed out all the absurdity
Yeah.
and hypocrisy of New Year's Eve,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm going to give you a way to channel that
Exactly.
into something creative and meaningful.
Yes. Give you a way to process it.
So what are some of these tips?
Oh, they're unconventional.
Oh, I bet.
Like writing from the perspective of a spent firecracker.
A spent firecracker.
Yeah.
That is pretty out there.
It is.
But it's like,
But think about it.
I know, it's clever.
Yeah, all those themes of disappointment,
Yeah,
unfulfilled potential,
right.
it's all there.
And there's that other one, right?
Oh, the rocket me exercise?
Yeah.
Where you imagine yourself as this unlit firework
Uh-huh.
about to launch into the sky.
I kind of like that one.
It's cool, right?
Yeah,
You think about the story you would tell
yeah.
if you were launched into the sky.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
It's like the author's challenging us to look past all the sparkle of New Year's Eve
yeah.
and find the real fireworks.
The one's inside.
The ones inside.
Yeah.
Our own personal fireworks show.
Exactly. Yeah, I think most of us have felt that at some point,
Yeah.
It's like we get caught up in all the hype
Mhm.
all that pressure
Yeah.
to make some big declaration about how everything's going to be
Yeah,
different.
like this year, I'm going to...
Yeah, this is my year.
This is my year.
I'm going to do all the things.
But then,
But deep down,
yeah,
there's that little voice.
the little voice is like, it's like, yeah, right? Like anything's actually going to change.
Yeah, we're probably going to be back here again next year.
Saying the same thing.
Saying the same thing.
It's true.
And, the author had that whole point about consumerism.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're trying to buy our way
Into a fresh start.
Yeah. Instead of, actually dealing with this stuff.
Addressing the root cause.
Right, addressing the root cause. Like,
Yeah.
what are we actually avoiding here?
Yeah, the deeper issues.
But, okay, I do have a question, though.
Yeah.
The author talks a lot about...
All the kind of downsides of New Year's.
Yeah.
But do you think they're, completely dismissing the idea of celebrating?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's more about, being mindful about why we're celebrating.
Yeah.
Are we doing it because we really feel renewed?
Yeah.
Or are we just doing it because everyone else is?
It's like that whole keeping up with the Joneses thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are we being authentic to ourselves?
Right. Are we doing it for us?
Yeah.
Or are we doing it because we feel like we have to?
Yeah, it's societal pressure.
Yeah, it's that pressure.
Yeah.
So it's less about judging people for how they celebrate and more about just encouraging them to be aware.
Yeah, be more conscious.
Be more conscious
about why they're doing it.
And I think that kind of brings us back to one of the author's main points,
Oh, yeah.
that real change has to come from within.
From within.
It's not about the date on the calendar.
Nope.
It's about making those internal shifts.
It's an inside job.
Yeah, but that's hard.
It is.
So, how do we actually do that?
Well, I think that's where the author's poetry slam tips come in.
Okay.
Yeah, they might seem a little strange at first,
Yeah.
but they're meant to, shake us up a bit.
Okay.
Get us out of our comfort zone.
Okay, so what are some of those?
Well, you remember the spent firecracker one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so instead of, writing a resolution,
Uh-huh.
you write from the perspective of a spent firecracker.
A spent firecracker.
Yeah,
It sounds weird, but
it is.
it's kind of brilliant
It is.
when you think about it.
Yeah, because you're exploring,
Yeah.
disappointment and...
What could have been.
Yeah, unfulfilled potential.
Yeah, that's good.
And then there's the rocket me exercise.
Oh, rocket me.
Yeah, where you imagine yourself as
Yeah.
this unlit firework about to launch into the sky.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, what story would you tell?
yeah, which story would you tell?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And what was that other one? It was the
Oh, the countdown of truth.
the countdown of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of counting down the seconds to midnight, you replace those numbers with
Yeah.
raw, honest statements about yourself.
And the world around you.
Oh.
Exactly. Wow. That's intense.
It is.
I don't know if I could handle that.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's a way to confront those
Yeah.
uncomfortable truths.
Yeah, the things we're trying to hide from.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's like the author saying, okay, forget about those resolutions
Yeah.
that you're probably going to break anyway.
Yeah, those are just going to set you up for failure.
And just get real.
Yeah.
Get real with yourself.
Get radical honesty
Yeah.
with yourself
Yeah.
and with the world around you.
And from that place,
Yeah.
maybe we can actually
Make some real change.
make some real change.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to see it now.
Yeah. It's all about that inner work.
Inner work.
Yeah.
But, not everyone is going to be
Right.
journaling their deepest fears
No.
while there's fireworks going off.
Not everyone's ready for that.
So, what about the people who actually enjoy New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
They like the traditions, the
Yeah.
gatherings,
Yeah.
the hope for a fresh start.
Right.
Is the author dismissing their experience?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's more about
Yeah.
encouraging self-awareness.
Okay.
If you're celebrating because it brings you joy,
Uh-huh.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it just because you feel like you should,
Uh-huh.
then maybe it's time to ask yourself why.
So it comes back to intention.
Intention.
Whether you're embracing the noise
Yeah.
or finding a quiet moment.
Yeah.
The key is to be present.
Be present.
Be conscious.
And conscious choices.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the author's giving us permission
Mm-hmm.
to create a New Year's Eve that's actually for us.
Yeah. That aligns with our values.
Our values.
Yeah.
Our desires. Your own personal New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe in the process we'll discover
Yeah.
that the real fireworks
The real fireworks.
are the ones inside.
The ones we create within ourselves.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
I keep coming back to that metaphor the author uses.
Oh, yeah.
New Year's Eve as a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a powerful image.
It is.
Like, what does your New Year's Eve reflect back to you?
Right. Like, are you out there building beer bottle pyramids?
Well, like Gunther
Yeah, just to, like, blow them up?
before midnight?
Yeah.
Or are you more of a quiet observer?
Yeah, just watching everything unfold.
Yeah.
Maybe taking notes.
Yeah, and pondering the deeper meaning of it all.
Or maybe you somewhere in between.
Yeah, like caught between.
Yeah, like those expectations.
Yeah, and what you actually want.
Yeah, like that internal struggle.
And I think that's okay.
It is?
Like, it's not about judging how people choose to celebrate.
No, it's about awareness.
Awareness.
You know, like self-awareness.
Yeah.
Recognizing those internal fireworks.
Oh, yeah, the ones that have nothing to do with sparklers.
Exactly.
Those are the real ones.
Those are the ones that matter.
And the author seems to suggest that those internal fireworks, those moments of self-discovery, they're way more powerful
Yeah, they have a lasting impact.
than any external display.
Yeah, forget the sparklers.
Right.
Focus on the spark within.
Yeah, cultivate that inner spark.
The one that can illuminate your entire year.
That's good.
It is.
And you know what? The author actually has a book recommendation
Oh, yeah.
for anyone looking for a little inspiration on that front.
What is it?
It's called Poetry Master Poesy Craft in 7 Tagen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's available in English and German.
That's awesome.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I think the big takeaway here is that the real magic of New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
it's not about what you achieve,
No.
but who you become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becoming.
Yeah.
It's a process.
It is a process.
Yeah.
It's about embracing the silence, confronting those uncomfortable truths,
Yeah.
and discovering that the most dazzling fireworks are often the ones that erupt from within.
I love that.
Me too.
That's beautiful.
So on that note,
Yeah.
happy reflecting, everyone.